Madden 1931 2019. I'm going to add something to this to make this a part two. I want to show you how this game basically is working. This was a play where the safeties were covering the wrong people. This safety is covering the tight end all the way over here. And this safety right here is covering the running back. As you can see, when he runs, watch the safety on your left up here. Watch when Peterson goes back right, how he runs right. If you notice, if you come back over here, you watch Jeff Heath. Watch him run all the way across the field. He's paying no attention to Adrian Peterson. So he was supposed to cover him. Now, that happened because of an audible. And the game should know how to set up your man-to-man. That safety, it should have known that the safeties were the assignments were crossed and switched it up. It makes no sense. There's no movement or motions or anything like that done in that play in order to confuse it. But yet, when you do an audible, many times to man, it's really messed up. Especially if you use the big nickel. The big nickel really has some screwed up man-to-man assignments where you're running across the field trying to cover somebody, and that means that that's code. That's just poorly done code with regard to matching up your man. Now on the 2-point conversion, it failed. As you can see, there's no replay for it. The reason why it failed was because I used that same play not as an audible. So now all of the man-to-man assignments were set up. But audible or not, if you audible to that play, it should be set up right. Anyway, as I said, when you have these drama mode games and you end up with a 3-point lead, the console usually will do everything possible to stop you from tying the game up, from winning the game, but you can tie the game up for overtime. Because it wasn't, I was able to move down the field. And I don't understand sometimes. Let me show you something as well. The console has the lead, so why is it playing so up on my team? So I get a man open across the field, and, he goes to the 50-yard line. I did an audible and then canceled the audible because I saw the console adjust to my audible. Now, what's interesting is how the console tried to let me have this touchdown. Watch Josh Norman at the top. What is he playing by? At first, I thought this may have been a corner blitz, but it's not. He's just playing in. He just left the man wide open to go downfield. And you could almost say the same thing about the others cornerback. For some reason, he's going there. If I had both men going deep like a vertical 4, which I rarely use because it's so cheap to get downfield, this is what you have. But I have an open touchdown, but I don't take it because it's too much time left on the clock. So I just go down. And then I go ahead and I score my touchdown. But I want you to look at this play. This is Dak Prescott. Now, I'm sure you've seen him in the Seattle playoff game. I'm sure you saw him in the Philadelphia game as well, the last Philadelphia game of the year as well. Why is he so slow in this game? Look at this. This is what sprint. That guy's faster than that. Come on. EA, this for me is EA's problem with the ratings. You've got a defensive line guy on the left side of the field who can run in on this play and almost get him, and he's slower than that. I can tell you that right now. Allen is not as fast as Prescott, but he is so slow in this game, it makes no sense whatsoever. They've got to really up his speed because he's not that slow. And get rid of this stupid gallop run. Please, get rid of this gallop. He looks like he's just out for a morning jog. He starts out right. See how he starts out? He's ready to run, but then comes right back up, and now he's just jogging. And that's with sprint. I have the right trigger. What else can I do? I'm doing everything to push him through that hole. Left stick, push him through the hole. Right trigger. But he still won't run fast. And then I do my 2-point conversion, which was pretty easy. And that's fine. But I have to only leave a little bit of time left on the clock. Now I'm up by 7 points. And the console has no timeouts. So this is pretty much how these drama cheat mode games end up. And I'm just playing it out just so that you can see some of it. I could have played out that other part, but I wasn't thinking. I just was so mad that the game did what it did. I gotta make sure I'm underneath the center, because if not, the console will do its thing. So it has no timeouts. Because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They gotta find a way to shut him down. Here we go again for the grizzled vet. The Redskins on 3rd down, 3 for 7 so far in this game. Gotta make sure I'm 3rd and 5. See that dive? Let me see if I can. I'm going to replay that. That's another thing I don't like about this game, is the dives are much too easy to catch. You'll drop an open pass quicker than you'll drop a diving pass. And that makes no sense either. Dives in this game should not be that easy to catch. I have to see if it saved it. Yeah. Diving catches should not be that easy to catch, but they are for some reason. They can dive and fall down to the ground, and you'll never, ever see that ball pop loose. Never. I've never seen a diving catch dropped, and that's a problem. Make sure I got my man under here taken care of, because if you don't, and those offensive linemen, they're fast as well as the quarterback when you intercept the ball, man. It's crazy. I mean, you get an interception and they close in on you quick. If the console gets an interception, you might as well just say it's just going to be a score, because their people will just run. It doesn't matter whether it's a defensive lineman, linebacker, or cornerback. The console will score off of that without a problem. But I just wanted you to see that how the console has a way of getting its way in on these cheat mode games to make the game competitive, because most of the games that you play against the console are going to be, you'll score this amount of points, but the console will score under 20 points. It'll score maybe 17 points, 13 points, even 7 points. You can blank the console out, but if you play it in a dedicated sim mode, I got a video for that shows you. It's a little long, but it shows you the rules that I play by. You'll see these scripts, the behind the scenes scripts that you're playing against. You'll see the pattern. Trust me, you will notice the pattern of this game. And that's basically what we're playing. As you can see, I mean, normally I have 100. Last game I had, when I was blowing the game out, it was like 200 yards. Only 34 yards. And the only reason why I had 34 yards is because I knew it was a cheat mode game early on. And as you look at that graph, I knew that in order to win this game, I would have to go into a pass mode game. There wasn't going to be any running game because it wasn't going to allow me to run a ball. It will bust through the line and hit Zeke as if he was just any old running back. That's the other thing I don't like about this game. They don't really do him any justice as far as a running back. Neither do they do it really anybody else on my team, but that's all right. Um, but this is what you end up with. You end up with a graph similar to that. You end up with a score similar to that. Um, Stats, you might have more stats by trying to keep up, but the problem is you'll see those plays that keep the console in the game, and that's where things get really annoying because it's not your gameplay, it's the script that's in it. Because you know that you beat this team 50 something to 7 or 3, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in this game where you can't do anything, and it's not changing any plays. It's not like it's changing any different plays. It's just that now all of a sudden it's successful and you're not. That's drama cheat mode, and there's a script that's behind it. Madden 19 needs some competition. You'll put an end to all this. Bring in competition. You'll put an end to